Thank you very much for this invitation. And of course, Mysore is actually my, maybe you can say, native place or hometown. You can say anything because Mysore actually where I did my education, everything from Mysore only. Anyway, I should thank Dr. Chennamma and even of course my friend, student, colleague, everything Dr. Aradhyam. So yeah, for this for giving this opportunity. So of course, yes, they have suggested this topic. Wait, yeah, this should be fine now. Okay, audible, visible, everything is fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Everything
okay,
is fine.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay, 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 good, good, okay. So this topic, I think I feel something different from other topics, probably other speakers also. I guess this is something different topic. Here, I will try to focus on forgery detection in video, scene, and document images. But probably when I say word forgery, yeah, suddenly you may recall or you might have started thinking, yeah, there are many works on fake video detection, recognition, something like this, even fake document identification. But yeah, fake video, that's actually very old problem. So yeah, we can expect a splicing concept, and splicing actually is operation. So yeah, that problem is very popular and very familiar to everyone, especially in image processing and video processing people. This problem is something different from that problem. So that's what I'm going to highlight here, how this problem is different. So do you think in that problem is easy, or this problem is easy, or this problem is complex, or something like this? So for me, whatever I'm going to explain, this problem is different. Not only different, it is totally, you can expect in a different complexity compared to general fake video detection and recognition something. Because here I focus on text information, not really whole image. So text information, see, look at in a four, if you do something to text information. See here, forgery, that is a one word, fake another word, alter text another word, even manipulated data is another word, fabricated is another word. Like this, so many words are there. But generally, when it comes to document, we use altered, yeah, very often. So yeah, frequently. So here, why this problem is something different from general fake video identification and recognition. See, when it comes to document, we expect in short information and little information, not really whole image information. So fake video means what happens is, maybe if you take in something, and maybe I think you must have seen in a maybe, yeah, social media or Facebook or somewhere else. Yeah, some, in case of a general fake video, they will try to bring in a whole object or whole reason to replace with something else. That is what in a forgery. Okay, when you bring in a whole object, let us say face, you are bringing in a face of a different person to fix in another person. So that means you need to bring in a whole object, face. When you bring in a whole face, that means you have some information here. But you look at the text information here, you are just changing one character. If you change one character, it is not so easy to say that there is a change in the word or something or even a line. But face, yes, it is very clear information. If you bring in a face from different place or different image or different sources, then face is whole face gives a lot of information to understand what is happening on the face or facial information. Okay, so in that sense, what I'm telling here, we don't get a lot of information to understand whether this information is tampered, forged, or something else. Okay, in that way, that means, of course, see here, I tell you one thing you should remember here. What is the basis for forgery detection? Even if it is a general document, anything, what is the basis? The basis is something like this. Of course, in case of forgery, we use two popular operations. What are those operations? Copy paste operation, insertion operation. Here, copy paste means what? Copy paste means what? You are copying from different sources and finally you are pasting on target image or target source. This is copy paste. We call actually splicing in case of general video or image forgery topic. Okay, copy paste operation and insertion operation. Of course, deletion also there, but deletion is very tough job. Insertion operation, that means you are inserting. So maybe assume that there is a 1 lakh rupees in something in the bank, in the check, probably if you delete 1 0, then it becomes a very small amount. And maybe if you had 1 0, what happens? So in this way, that means insertion is one operation for making forgery here. So these two operations are very popular, not deletion and maybe some other operations, or maybe attacking something. That's also attacking, means you are trying to put something on that. You are trying to add something to that, or you are trying to add so that the content will be disturbed, or it will misguide. Okay, that is also another way of forgery, in making forgery. But anyway, I don't talk those things here. But what I'm talking, I think this is the whole workshop is actually biometric, right? Probably I think, yeah, you must have already received this kind of an information, attack information or something like this, or influence or something. Okay, external attack, maybe internal attack. Yeah, there are many things in forgery detection here. So here my point here is, so when you have a general video and text information here, so yeah, I forgot actually. There are two operations, copy paste and insertion operation. So these two are main operations for making forgery. But on what basis we develop an algorithm for detecting forgery? That is very important. You need to remember this one throughout the talk. Okay, so when you perform some operation on general video or document, anything, so what we believe, when you perform some operation, it will introduce, the operation will introduce some kind of distortions in the image. You're copy and pasting, you're doing an operation copy and pasting. You copy, again you pasted here. Copy, again it is an operation, paste, again another operation now. So when you do this operation, what happens? The original content gets disturbed here. That means you are losing original content here, and finally something will happen to the original content here. So that is what we call in manipulated data, fabricated data, or tampered data, or tampered information in that area. So in whole image, of course, other information is there, and this information is there. When you do copy paste something, yes, in that area there will be something different, something change in that area. But when you compare to whole image, or maybe other than where you forged, where you did a copy paste operation, definitely we can see something different here. What is the difference we are expecting here? That is very important here. That is what the belief and basis or observation. So when you do some copy paste operation or even insertion operation, there will be some kind of a disturbance. So that means you will lose actual information here. There will be something altered information in the place of a forgery. Okay, now that is the point here. So how we can say there is a forgery here? We don't recognize, we don't detect anything, we don't understand anything. Just we are trying to look for where is something changed here, where something is changed. So that means we are trying to look for some kind of distortions created by forgery operations. That is the basis here. You take any forgery, including document and whatever I am discussing today. So okay, that means when you have this kind of an analysis, this kind of a basis, so when you bring in a whole object, then it will be easy, because you will have more distortions here. So when you are adding just one character, or maybe changing one word in the line, then it will be very minute distortions. So when you have a small distortions here, it is not so easy to say that yes, something is disturbed, something is changed here. Okay, that is what in that sense, what I am telling, this forged text detection, or text detection is something difficult and challenging compared to fake video detection. Of course, operations are same, bases are same, everything is same. The change is amount of distortions here. So amount of distortions means what? In case of document, probably you can expect minute changes, but in case of forgery, general images or video, there will be a large amount of distortions. Of course, when you have a more distortions in information, distorted information, then easy to understand, easy to analyze, easy to detect or recognize the things. But when there is a minute thing, it is not so easy. Okay, so that is the whole thing you have to remember here. Of course, this is what I planned. Actually, this is actually one master thesis I'm presenting. Actually, slides prepared by my student only. Is edit and masters with me. Probably I think you can understand what is the quality that we are maintaining here. Okay, this is one piece of a master degree student work. Okay, this is what we expect if someone wants to work with us. Okay, So yeah, probably after going through the things here, you will come to know what is the one, what is the whole work and what is the whole package and whole something, one piece of work. Okay. Yeah, introduction. Of course, I've already given introduction. So related work. So maybe I'll touch, what kind of work has been done and what still remains unsolved, challenges, something like this. Then, yeah, this is what my topic here. The method, I will try to discuss one method for forged caption detection and video images. I'll come to that point. Okay. Sorry, my throat actually today, I don't know what happened. Some problem is there. So the method for forged text detection in natural scene images. Okay. First, I will discuss one method for video, caption detection in video images, and then I will try to discuss one more method for natural scene images. Okay, and finally document images. Okay, and last, unified. That means this algorithm should work for video, scene, as well as document. Okay, it's a unified method. Okay, see, again the question comes here. See, that's what I'm telling you. Simply we cannot propose unified method. So before defining a unified method, you need to justify why do you need a unified method, on what basis this unified method works. Okay, that is most important. Simply we cannot propose. Of course, if you want to get in a paper, I don't know, maybe you must have experienced, you already have an experience of, in publishing a papers or maybe writing paper and doing research. Yes, those people know very well that if you don't justify, don't properly mention in a motivation for proposing a methodology, then I think it is very, very tough job for you to get a paper in top journals. Okay. Now, see, look at the flow now. I will focus on video and then natural scene images. What is the difference here? That's what you need to understand here. For caption text, video and natural scene image, what is the difference here? See, in case of video, look at video images. Especially you take one example, subtitles of a news channel. So there will be subtitles, right? Subtitles are nothing but a superimposed text or artificial text, caption text. So we call this one as an edited text. That means you are editing the text over video. So there is another kind of text information in the video image. What is that one? That is actually scene text. We call actually scene text. That means which is actually part of the image. This exists in the image itself. Okay, so that means there are two kinds of text information in video images. So subtitles are nothing but a caption text, or here I define this caption text as something edited text. Okay, we edit this text. Okay, this is very, very, very important here. And another text is there that is actually scene text. Okay, that is actually original text. So probably we can say it's a part of the image now. See, when single image contains two kinds of text, then it is not so easy to solve the problem. Or assume that you are trying to develop a text detection algorithm. So when image contains two kinds of text, two types of text information, then it is not so easy to develop an algorithm which can detect both, because nature of the caption text is different, and nature and even properties and characteristics of scene text is totally different now. So when two kinds of text with different properties and different nature, then it is very, very tough job for you to develop an algorithm to detect caption text and scene text in the images. So here, of course, I am talking about forgery here, not text detection in video images now. Okay, see here, that's what very interesting point interesting point for you. See, caption text, I defined caption text as a tamper text now. So that means here I interpret the problem in this way. Okay, tampered text detection or forged caption text detection, because for me caption text is nothing but a tampered text. Another text is there that is actually scene text, which is original. Okay, original text is different and caption text is totally different. For me, caption text is actually tampered text information. That means my job is to detect forged caption text or separate forged caption text from original text. Okay, that is what problem. That is what in that way we have defined a problem for forged caption detection in video images. Okay, so this is something different approach and different problem now. Now again come to the natural scene images here. What is the difference between natural scene images and video? Video, as I mentioned, it will contain two kinds of text, two types of text information. But natural scene text, see, name itself indicates you, tells you it contains only scene text information. It doesn't contain any caption text information because it is a natural scene text. So that means something like a building name, okay, name with a building in the image, or maybe street names, license plate, okay. These are all natural scene images where you can see only one type of text information, not like two kinds of text information as in the video images. So that means when single image contains only one type of text information, then we feel it is better than, it is easy to detect information, okay. But in case of video, since it contains two types of text information, it is not so easy, okay. So in this way, so video and scene images are something different. Okay, see, according to me, video images, yes, it is actually difficult, but here I am trying to interpret, I am trying to define this as a classification problem, not really text reduction problem, okay. So when it comes to natural scene images, yes, we will try to make a forgery, then we will start detecting forged text information in the image, okay. Now, again, next one, forged text reduction document images now, okay. Document images are totally different from natural scene images, because document images is a plain background, okay. Document images will have a plain background, homogeneous background, and of course it is exactly something looks, and it exactly looks like a black and white sheet paper, okay, page. See, look at the complexity here. Video, it is, we feel something, yes, complexity is high, and next slowly we can see natural scene images and then document images. But when you look at the complexity wise in terms of text reduction, then we feel in this way. But when it comes to forgery detection, it is actually other way around. So caption text, it is a classification problem. So classification problem is easier than detection problem, okay. So now natural scene text reduction, again, though it is a difficult, but it is easy for forged text reduction, okay. Document, it is really tough job for me. Document detecting a forged information in the document is tough job. It is difficult compared to natural scene and video. Why? Because document images, see, when background is totally white, then it is easy to make forgery, easy to create a forgery. And when document is black and white, then it is easy to create a forgery. But when in case of a natural scene images and video images, background is totally complex. When background is complex, then it is not so easy to make a forgery. So when it is not so easy, that means you are doing lot of operations here, adjustment. So when you are doing a lot of operations, operations here, then you are introducing lot of distortions here. Okay, I think you are getting my point. Okay, so when there are a lot of distortions, then it is easy to say that something is happened here. But in case of black and white or document images, yes, plain background and it's just white only, then no need to do a lot of operations here. Just simple operation, copy paste, and without maybe single attempt, just one attempt is enough to make some changes. But in forgery, in natural scene images and video images, because background is totally complex. So when background is complex, whatever you bring any character from different source, or even if you want to insert something, it is not so easy. Because see, what do you mean by forgery? When you see from our eyes, naked eyes, one should not notice the difference between forged information and original information. If you are able to notice, then it is not at all a forgery. Then easily a person can identify something has happened here, right? So that is what you need to remember here. What do you mean by forgery? Forgery means when the person, profession, who is very skilled person, he knows when he makes some changes, yes, we cannot really notice the changes in the images. That is the meaning of a forgery here. That is the meaning of operations here. So when you keep these things in our mind to make a forgery, then look at the background images now. So document images is easy to make a forgery here. Okay. So that is what you need to understand here. When it comes to text detection, yes, video is difficult. Again, natural scene images, it is a little bit easier than video, and document, yes, it is easy. Okay. But when it comes to forgery, it is actually reverse. Okay. Other way around now. Okay. So that's what you need to remember here. And finally, at the end, our algorithm should work for all three types of images. That is what an interesting point here. See, I explained video is something different, natural scene text is something different, document is something different. Look at when you have a difficulties in this way, not really any uniform difficulties here. Yes, video is something different, natural scene is something different, document is something different now. That means complexity varies from one option to another option now. So, or one situation to another situation now. When you have different situations like this, it is not so easy to develop a unified method. Okay. So, how you can develop unified method? That is what an interesting work in this thesis. Okay. Of course, I tell you the point here. Unified before. Why do we thought in unified method here? Because see, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, what is the basis for forgery detection? Distortion, that is the basis. Even if you take a video, even if you take a natural scene, even if you take in a document, yes, we are performing the same operations. Of course, when you are performing same operations, definitely we can expect some distortions here. So distortions are common for video, natural scene, and document. Yes, when something is common, then definitely one can think of developing unified method. That is what a motivation here. Simply we cannot propose a unified method. Okay, why do you need it? Why should we propose a unified? What is the motivation for proposing unified method? Yes, when you find common thing, when you find something is common for all three cases, yes, there is a possibility now. If you think that this case is totally different, this case is totally different, there is nothing is common, then it's not so easy. Then you have to think hybrid method or combined method or something different, not unified method. Okay, hybrid, the word is different, combined word is different, unified word is different. Please remember, all words are not same. Okay, hybrid we use in different context. Combined, yes, we use this word in different context. Unified, again, different context. Okay, each word has its own meaning. Simply we cannot bring in some word to define in a methodology here. Okay, yeah, introduction I think I already explained. Nowadays, especially when you focus, of course, social media is a big problem now. Okay, of course, there is advantages and both the disadvantages here. So maybe yes, since we are focusing on forgery detection, so we look at disadvantages here. So yeah, social media, I think you remember very well. I remember yeah, Facebook guy, right? A Facebook guy, I don't know, not now, maybe very long ago and long back. I think I was reading a newspaper. Yes, that guy was telling he wants to hire the people to watch or monitor the data uploaded on Facebook. Is it possible? Manually verifying or monitoring the data uploaded by users in the world. Just Facebook. 1 second, I don't know how many users are uploading data. That is the concept of a big data. They're going in that way. But anyway, now how you can monitor? Of course, user can upload fake also, genuine also, truth also, false also, anything they can upload. But how you can say that this information is genuine, this information is wanted, this information is important, this is unwanted, this makes in some sense and new sense, create a nonsense? How it is possible? See, the person, yes, that guy, who is that, I don't know what is his name. Yeah, he wants to hire many people to check data. It is impossible case. So yes, then people started thinking, can we develop an automatic algorithm? At least, oh, something is fake, oh, something is there, something unwanted is there. It is not a normal data. Maybe, of course, if someone uploaded in a gun or some knife, yeah, it is not allowed. Yes, easily we can detect. Yes, gun, automatically can recognize the gun and we can say that, okay, yes, this guy is uploading something, this kind of an information. Like this, yes, people started thinking, yes, can you make automatic? Can you develop an automatic algorithm to monitor the data uploaded by different users on different social media platform? Okay, that is actually motivation here. So that's the introduction. Yeah, there are many applications for this one. That's just I'm trying to explain only one. Maybe you can look at especially the property document when it comes to document, maybe property document, real estate business. I think you people know very well that what is happening in a sub-registrar office. So maybe yes, even though there's a PDF document, yes, they can change. I tell you one simple example. Yeah, this is actually my case only. Yeah, in Mysore only. In Mysore only. Yeah, what the person did after typing everything, okay, he just changed survey number. There is no change in place, address, name, content, nothing. Site number, everything is perfect except survey number. Now you gone, because survey number gives in a totally different field and different land, not exactly the land where you purchase the site. See how you can identify that survey number has been changed. Is there any automatic algorithm? This is actually PDF document. It is not an image. It is a PDF document. It is really, I tell you, it is very challenging. Because when you make some changes on PDF document, it is not so easy for you to identify. When you make some changes on images, yes, there is a possibility. Because image is not so easy. You need to do a lot of operations here. So you need to adjust background, foreground, color, this one. It is not so easy. But in case of a PDF document and even plain background document like this in pages, it is very, very easy for you to make some changes. See, just you're changing one number, survey number. It is just in a digit. If you change in one digit, yes, it becomes in something totally different field and different in a land. See, that is what happening. Every day you can see a lot of cases, not only in Mysore, everywhere. Similarly, in case of an insurance documents also, maybe when you are going, yeah, maybe bank loan or something, a lot of people are, creating a fraud. I think even I remember when I was reading newspaper, right? I was just, I think recently something was happened, right? So fraud document, the guy replaced in Mysore city only, right? It is in our city only. The guy replaced, right, the old document with the new document. It is very simple problem for me. You have solved this problem. Just assume that old document is nothing but a original, new document is, a replaced document is actually the new one. Old is always will have, since it is a old, it loses some quality. New one, since it is a new one, definitely it has some quality. Just quality is enough to differentiate whether it is a old or original or something fake or fraud document. It is very simple classification problem. Okay, like this, see how people are making a chain forgery information to gain some benefits. Okay, so that is what happening in the bank also, even certificates also. Yeah, many people I have seen, they create fake certificates to join companies, jobs. Yeah, there are many things are happening. Okay, anyway, we don't want to talk those things. So yeah, those are the applications. Yeah, look at this one. This is a source image now. This is a target image. See, we copied this in a mirror now, and this is a word we copied and pasted here. So what I am telling here, when you copy and paste here, okay, if you observe closely, then you can see some changes. Of course, from our naked eye, without any knowledge of forgery, then it is not so easy to notice the changes of a copy and paste operation. Okay, this is one example insertion here. Look at now live. This is actually we have inserted. So live, this is a text, this is actually original, but we inserted this actually forged one. But we cannot make any, you cannot make any notice. We cannot notice the changes here. Both look same, right? Because background is same here. See, when background is something like an homogeneous, then it is easy. If background is totally different, then it is not so easy. Okay, assume that background is not like in red now, then it is not so easy. Because when you do copy paste operation, then because of the different background, it will look totally, it looks in a totally something different. Okay, then it is very easy to detect forged information in the image. Okay, that is what you must be skilled, you must be professional. Ordinary person cannot do this one. Okay, in that way we have to create a data set. Of course, we don't get actual data set. We have to create our own data set here. Okay, so anyway, this is what you need to notice here. So this is a copy paste. Actually, we call splicing concept in image forgery, general image forgery. But here, yes, we use just a copy paste operation for forging text information. Okay, yeah, this is actually caption text. Okay, this is actually caption text. Scene text, probably, yeah, this should be the scene text. This is a part of the image, but this is actually subtitles are all caption text. So for me, in case of video, so caption text itself and a tamper text. So my job is just detect a caption text or separate caption text from scene text. So that is what forged text reduction in video. Okay, so this is what, as I mentioned earlier, So whole thesis and whole work focus on only text information. We don't focus on general images here. Okay, even if it is a video, we focus on text information. Yes, images, natural scene images, again we focus on text information. Documents, of course, document itself when it tells you it is a text information. Okay. Yeah, literature survey. Yeah, as I mentioned, we take any forged paper or something, forged detection paper or something, only one basis they consider. What is the basis? Yes, distortion should create, forgery operation should create a distortions. If forgery operations create a distortions, then yes, we need to identify what kind of any distortions, or maybe we just assume that, okay, there is something change here compared to other locations in the image. Okay, so yeah, that is the basis here. But sometimes what happens, as I mentioned, distortions, if it is really good, then it is easy to detect in a forgery. If it is very minute, then it is not so easy, especially when it comes to text information, pixel level, character level forgery, it is not so easy. Okay, one line level or maybe para level, it is easy. Okay, most images do not suffer from a degradation. Of course, this is another problem now. See, when it comes to document, see, you have to remember here, this is really challenging. This is really, really challenging now. So as I mentioned, what I mentioned, when you perform forgery operations, it will create distortions. Now, look at, document is degraded now. Document is already distorted by noise information or by blur information or by some other operations now, maybe rotation, scaling. See, now it's a really challenging problem now. See, distortions created by forgery operation. This is one side. Another side, distortions created by some other operations like in a blur, blurring, noisy, and degradations. See now, that means how you can differentiate distortions created by forgery operations and distortions created by other operations like noise and blur effect. This is really challenging. Not only that, what is another challenge? Maybe you can expect one image can affected by multiple operations. What do you mean by multiple forgery operations? Not only just copy paste is there, insertion is there, deletion is there, blur is there, noise is there. In one image, if you have in one image affected by multiple things, forgery is there, noise effect is there, blur effect is there, not just copy paste operation, even insertion operation is also there and deletion is also there. This is really is going to be very challenging. That's what actually our next target, and even yes, our students are focusing on that challenge. So how we can detect a forgery when image or document affected by multiple forgery operations. Okay, yeah, that's yeah, here in this thesis or in this work, our focus is actually unified method. Because when you look at a literature survey, what is happening? Okay, there are methods for only video. There are methods for only natural scene images. There are methods for only document. Okay, so can we develop one algorithm or single algorithm that can detect all forged information in video, natural scene, and document images? So that is what in the objective or maybe motivation of this work. Okay, yeah, this is actually unified method architecture or in a framework, we can say it's a framework. So here we are trying to explore DCT coefficients and FFT coefficients, and finally we'll try to fuse, okay, using a variance, and finally we get in one reconstructed image here. Okay, so we get in one output here. Similarly, input image, and yes, we get in a gray image, and the gray image will go to the CNN, and the reconstructed image will again go to CNN. And another thing is actually we used CHFM, Chebyshev harmonic Fourier transform movements. Okay, so this one is another image reconstruction, and finally we're getting. See, we are doing a lot of things here. Why? Because it's a complex problem. It is not in a simple just in video and natural scene, because we need to address challenges of video, natural scene, and document here. Okay, so since the problem is complex, it is not so easy to achieve expected result here. Okay, so that is the reason we are trying to analyze, and we are trying to bring in many things, or maybe different concepts to solve the problem here. Okay, so maybe I'll try to explain one by one. Yeah, I don't have many slides here, just I will explain the things. And of course, when time is up, probably yes, yeah, you can just send a message, then I will stop it. Or if I finish quickly, then yes, maybe we can give time for a question and answers. So DCT and FFT coefficients for reconstruct image 1. This is one. Now anyway, forget this. You just focus on why we are proposing DCT and FFT coefficients. See, just think in this way. Okay, solving problem. Okay, so yes, you have your own idea. Yes, you can solve with your own idea in a problem. And I can solve with my own idea in the problem. Okay, so that means, so what you have to understand here, yes, we can propose many methods, but we have to ensure that what motivated you to propose that method, that is most important in research work. You can bring any concept. Yes, if you have something in your mind, you can bring that concept. Yes, somebody else has then something else in their mind. Yes, definitely they can bring in a concept here. Bringing concept and solving problem is not at all a problem. Okay, if you are expert in your own domain, yes, you can bring that concept to solve the problem. When you really, if you understand the problem, bringing concept from your own domain to solve the problem is easy. But what is very important, simply we cannot bring in a concept. We need to have justification for that. Okay, now here I am trying to combine DCT and FFT. So we are trying to fuse, okay, information of DCT and FFT here. Finally, we get one reconstruct image here for the input images. Okay, so why did we propose a DCT coefficients and FFT coefficients? That is what I'm trying to explain. Other things are easy for you once you understand. Yes, what is the motivation and what is the observation to use these methods? Then it is up to you. Then you can bring your own idea, your own step to solve the problem. Okay. Now DCT, when it comes to DCT, look at the DCT coefficients in a property here. Look at this one. Okay, this is actually one caption text, this is actually scene text now. Okay, see, try to remember here, caption text, it is actually edited text. That means we edit. So when we edit means what? It should be readable. It should have a good contrast. It should have a good clarity. When it comes to scene text, no, it is not at all in our hand. Scene text is actually the part of the image. We don't know what is the nature. We don't know what is the contrast. We don't know anything about that in a scene text. But when it comes to caption text, since it is an edited text, definitely we can expect a high quality, high contrast, and visibility. Okay, that means what I'm saying here, when it comes to contrast, caption text will have a high contrast, scene text may not have a high contrast. Maybe, yes, it can have a high contrast, but we are not sure. But definitely we are sure caption text will have a high contrast, high quality. At the same time, you look at a tampered information. See, that's another observation now. See, there are two observations. Now I'm trying to explain a two observation here. That is what actually we are trying to combine. Okay, in that way we are trying to separate. We are trying to classify this is a caption text, this is a scene text, or maybe tampered text and original text. Okay, here caption text is nothing but about tampered text for me. So here in this work, my job is to classify caption text, because caption text is actually tampered text information. Okay, now yes, as I mentioned earlier, since it is an edited text, definitely we can expect good quality, good contrast. Okay, but scene text, no, we cannot predict. Okay, now of course when you think now other way, caption text, since it is an edited text, we can expect something tampered information. Now you manipulated. When you look at the pixel, so probably you may not see actual pixel information because you edited. It is a tampered now. But when it comes to quality, yes, it is a good quality. See, there are two observations here. So caption text can have a good clarity and good quality, but at the same time, since it is an edited text, that means you are editing over video. Yes, there will be some disturbance in the background or maybe content. Okay, so now how I am trying to extract those observations to fuse, that is very interesting point here. That's a whole method here. It's very simple, just 1 or 2 slides. Okay, now look at the DCT coefficient in here. So C and D something, right? C, yeah, C. See, what is the property of a DCT coefficient? Yes, we know very well that DCT coefficient, look at the DCT coefficient matrix. I think everyone knows that one. So, because you are all coming from, image processing or, background. So, see, DCT coefficients, look at the left and top corner. You can expect a high value, right? High DC value, high DC coefficient, something. Then look at it gradually, diagonal elements towards right bottom corner. It will be 0, black. So that means what I am saying here, when you look at a DCT coefficients of the matrix, DCT coefficients in the matrix, says one corner we can expect in high values, that means more brightness, and another corner, opposite corner, we can expect in a full dark, 0. This is the property of a DCT. This is well-known property. If you just open the book or Google, type in Google, automatically can get in this property. Now, look at now. This is actually tamper text information. Caption text is nothing but about tamper text information. Okay. Look at now DCT of the tamper text information here. So what we expect DCT? So DCT, and in one corner we expect brightness, more brightness, but another corner we should get black. Yes, it is a black. And look at the compared to this one. This is actually original text. There are no changes here. No manipulation, no tampered information here. But look at now brightness here. Brightness in this corner is only in this corner. Yes, we can see brightness, but most of the information is actually black. But here, yes, brightness is not just at the corner, but even we can see in the other locations. That means what? Here brightness is scattered. Here brightness is present at one corner. So that means what I'm saying here, DCT coefficients property is satisfying for scene text images, that means an original image, but not for caption text. This is observation from the DCT coefficients. But when it comes to FFT, that means in Fourier coefficients, yes, you know very well Fourier coefficients is totally different from DCT coefficients here. Fourier coefficients, yes, when you have a high contrast, you can expect high frequency coefficients. That means an edge information. High frequency coefficients generally represent edge information because high contrast. So low frequency coefficients represent, of course, 0, dark information which does not have contrast or some homogeneous background. If it is a heterogeneous background, yes, we can expect high frequency coefficients. Heterogeneous means what? There should be a change, okay? Change in the color, not homogeneous. If it is a homogeneous, we cannot expect high frequency coefficients, okay? If it is heterogeneous, okay, edges will be there, suddenly dark, suddenly white, suddenly different color. This is what heterogeneous and abrupt changes we call actually abrupt change. That's actually the gradient we define a gradient in image processing. Okay, so when you have this information, yes, we can expect high frequency coefficients here. So that means what my observation here? For caption text, we should get more brightness. Okay, and for scene text, yes, we don't know. Okay, we don't know because it is not in our hand. We should not focus on that text. Just it is a 2-class classification. If it is a multi-class classification, then it is difficult. When it is a 2-class classification, no need to worry about another text, other class. You just worry about this class because yes, it is possible now. Scene text, we cannot predict the properties of images. When we cannot predict, then why should we think of developing algorithm to understand that text? That is what in research idea. Okay, if you start thinking, okay, develop algorithm for, if you're targeting only scene text, okay, what is the property? What is the nature of this one? Can you develop an algorithm? Can we extract this feature? Then it is meaningless. It is not good research. Why? Because scene text is not in our hand. We cannot predict the properties and nature of the scene text. It all depends on the background. It all depends on the image because it is original. It is a part of the image. But caption text, it is in our hand. Why? Because you are editing. It is not part of the image. It depends on the person who edit. Of course, when you are editing in the sense what? Because their intention is to, edit just for reading. So you have to read clearly. So one can expect a good quality. So that is the reason we should focus on this one, caption text, not scene text. I don't bother what is happening to the scene text. I'm just bothering about only caption text. Okay. So now I am getting into 2 observations here. Fourier coefficients and DCT. DCT coefficients, you can expect a scattered information, scattered brightness for caption text, but Fourier, no, we can expect a high frequency coefficients for caption text. See, I am trying to combine now Fourier gives something and density gives something. It is actually opposite. So we are trying to combine or fuse two different properties to solve the problem. Okay, that is what interesting here. Of course, we have used actually variance as a weight for fusing. This is actually fusion formula, fourth equation 4. Again, why did you bring any variance here? Why variance is good for fusing? That is also a very interesting point. Okay, so look at the variance. Why did you bring any variance here? Sorry. So why did you bring variance here? See, when you perform some operation, as we assume that there will be some distortions. Okay, assume that there is a plain background, homogeneous background. You perform some operation over plain background. So before performing forgery operation, it was plain, and we can expect an homogeneous color. Homogeneous means what? All pixels will have a uniform color, not exactly same, but little bit threshold and something will be there. But all pixel values look similar. Okay, when you do copy paste operation or insertion operation over homogeneous background, then what happens? What happens? Because of the disturbance, you don't get any same values now. Before copy paste, yes, there are same values. Now, because of due to copy paste operation, you will lose the same values. Yes, you will have a different values now. So variance. Now coming back to the variance now. When you have the same values, what is the variance? Is 0. When you have variance variation in the values, yes, variance is high. That is what motivation. That is what point to bring in variance as a weight here. Okay, so because when you perform some operation, there will be disturbance, variance increases, variation increases. So variation increases in the sense what? Variance increases. Okay, when there is a homogeneous, it is a perfect original information, actual information, no changes at all, definitely variance will be low. Variations are low now. So variance is low here. Okay, in that way we are trying to differentiate. Okay, so when it is a forgery, variance should be high. When there is no forgery, variance should be low. So yes, we can fuse it now. Okay, that's I think one. And another thing, yes, we used Fourier. This is actually CHFM moments for reconstruction. What is the interesting property of an CHFM? Yes, these are actually orthogonal moments. That means when you give an input image, you will get a reconstructed image. Okay, that's an orthogonal basis function, or many things are there. So actually, it's a theory. I don't know even theory, but it's actually mathematics, and a lot of mathematics involved in understanding harmonic Fourier moments or something. Yeah, there are many, not one or two. You can find n number of combinations of an harmonic Fourier moment, this moment, that moment, like this an orthogonal moment, geometrical moment. There are many things are there. Now, yes, why I brought this one? Yes, for me, I wanted in a reconstructed image, because our ultimate goal is to use in a deep learning, not just an ordinary classifier. So you know very well that. So if you pass just in a features and ordinary things to deep learning, yes, deep learning may not work very well. It's not good for deep learning. So yes, we need to pass any images as input. That means in a raw information as input to deep learning. Then yes, we can expect a good result. That's what I think everyone knows. Okay, so that is the reason we are trying to bring in images here. Okay, even previous step also we are getting a fused image. Okay, now again we are using another moment concept to bring in one more image here. See, what is the motivation? What is the property of a CHFM? Actually, this is a very good reconstruction moments. See, it eliminates redundancy. Look at what do you mean by redundancy in the image. As I mentioned, when you have a plain background, when you have a same values, it is something like redundant information. We can expect. See, when in case of an original image, lot of redundant information will be there. In case of forged image, yes, we don't expect redundant information, because you are making some changes. You are manipulating the data. When you are manipulating the data, yes, the difference increases here. So even there are some uniform values that will change to different values. Okay, that is what an idea here. So this is very good for removing redundant duplicate information for reconstruction. Okay, so that means that is what a job of this moment. It will give a reconstruction like in other moments, but What is the special property of this moment? Yes, it will remove redundant information or duplicate information for reconstruction. Okay, look at now. So probably example, this is actually, moment, this is a caption text, this is a syntax. This is actually one sample reconstruction name. Of course, this is a very expensive, computationally expensive, and the performance depends on number of iteration or number of order. Okay, order is very important. It is not so easy, but yes, definitely, if you know some mechanism, if you have some idea to decide number order number automatically, then yes, definitely I can say you can use this function for any other problems also. Okay, now look at the syntax. Now this is actually caption text now. Okay, so this is actually output of CHFM. Now canny edge images of reconstruct images of this is the previous one. Okay, this is actually fused images. These two are fused images. Okay, we are trying to fuse Fourier transform and DCT transform to get the final fused image now. Okay, so there is a difference. Look at there is a difference here. So now look at now, just we applied canny to understand the content in the fused images of any caption and syntax. Now see what is happening now. Canny edge images of any caption, this is a syntax. See, for syntax we lost completely. There are no canny edges at all, but for caption text there are some edges here. That is what an advantages of combining DCT and FFT. That is what even operation, fusion operation here. Okay, now look at this one. This is actually moments. Okay, this is actually caption, this is a syntax. Now look at now, caption text is actually something is not very good compared to syntax. Syntax is better, the reconstruction is better for syntax because it is the original image. See, but look at the caption text, it is actually tampered, right? It is a tampered, data is manipulated now. That is the reason we don't get a good reconstruction result here. That is what we want, because our job is to classify caption and syntax. Okay, that's a point here. So now finally we are trying to combine. No, not I think we are trying. We just pass this one to this network and classifier deep learning, and finally get the result. Okay, this is then just representation. Okay, this is for caption and this for the syntax. Okay, how you can see some difference here. Okay, this is the result now. Now, okay, ablation study. Now, ablation study I think is very common now. Earlier, earlier it was not there. Now, this is a new trend now. If you open any top journal, ablation study is must now. If you don't have a section of an ablation study, then people immediately reject your paper. So what do you mean by ablation study? Yes, just I will try to highlight this point. Okay, since we have used many things in our work, right? Many things. Okay, moments also we used, and even fusing, DCT and FFT we used. So yes, we need to show what is the contribution of that one. We need to evaluate every step of the proposed methodology. Okay, so because we are saying that this step contributes something, this step contributes something, that's what we try to explain. So in the proposed methodology, so we have to evaluate, so you have to validate, so in what way it contributes, in what way this contributes. Okay, and that's what the meaning of an ablation study here. Of course, these are all some data set, and finally we should compare with the existing data set to prove that our method is better than. Of course, that is must. If you want to publish in the paper, then your method should be better than existing methods. I think in my history, I never seen any person claiming proposed method is poor than existing methods. Then of course automatically it will be rejected, right? Then what is the use of your method? When existing method works well, then what is the use of your proposed method? So that is what the sense here. So anyway, yeah, this is just look at the paper. This is actually recently accepted. Still it is under proofreading. Yeah, just we are listed in a proofreading. Yeah, this is in a caption syntax classification. That's the same approach we use. This is just in a paper. Yeah, this is the one paper. This is the one chapter of this thesis. Okay, as I mentioned, this is the whole thing actually one master thesis. Okay, next one. Now earlier, yes, I was talking video. Now I am talking image and year ticket. This actually, there is I don't know how much time I have. What time I started? 5, right? Okay, still have a time. This is 6 now. 6:30.
Sir, still half an hour is there, sir.
Oh, half an hour. It is very small. Less. Okay. Half an hour means I need to finish 2 more methods. Okay, quickly. I'll, of course, going fast is easy for us, right? Going slow is actually difficult. Going easy, finishing is easy for us because you don't know what is in the slide. So I can finish it quickly. Okay, there is a beautiful story behind in choosing this problem. It was again usually generally I read a newspaper. Of course, this is IMEI, right? This is actually unique number of a mobile. Actually, I was reading in a Star of Mysore, in Mysore only. There was a one police case. The guy, he used to buy stolen mobiles and then selling as a new one. That is his job. He is a fraud. That means, yeah, of course, he is trying to buy stolen mobiles, and he is a very smart guy. He will try to change the unique number, IME number, and not only that, he is so clever. The software also, when you run in a software, it creates the same unique number. So that means what he is doing, he takes in a stolen mobile, he will change, he will paste another unique IME number. So this is what happening. He's selling as a new one. It is actually exactly in the newspaper only. Okay. Then of course, stolen. Those people gave a complaint to police station, the large complaint. Then automatically, yeah, everyone knows an IME number will be there. That's a unique number for every mobile. So police started searching. So when the police started tracing the number, one number, especially one unique number, is reaching 8 people. You can open the newspaper. Probably I don't know when. You can find the same thing in the newspaper. Maybe you can browse it automatically. You can get that one. Okay, that means what is happening? Same unique number, same IME number is reaching 8 people. Oh, something is fishy here. Something is fraud here. Then of course, then people, the police caught him, and of course that is their job. But clearly, in the newspaper, they put both the images. This is the original. This is a forged one. That means how he do a copy paste, or how he paste different unique number, unique IME number. When I saw both the images, immediately I started thinking, this is really relevant problem for us. That is the motivation for an IME number detection. Similarly, air ticket, I tell you, it is again newspaper, not from Star of Mysore, maybe something else in our international airport, Bangalore International Airport. The guy, what he did is the whole family is actually a frequent flyer, and they use the same flight, same timings. So yeah, he is a frequent flyer. So one day, what he wanted, yes, he wanted to send family to his their native place, but this guy is not going. Only family is going. Okay. So what he did actually, look at our Kempegowda International Airport. So unless you have a valid valid ticket, security will not allow you to enter, right? But of course, in Malaysia and other airports, not like this. So we can go up to the counter. Okay, we can send them, no problem. We can go to the even counter, and then you can help them to put in this luggage and this one, that one. We can do here. But in Bangalore, no. You have to have a valid ticket. The security will then only he will allow you to enter airport. Okay, this guy knows this problem, right? But he wants to send only family, but he doesn't want to go with them because he has some work, and at the same time they are carrying bulk luggage. Okay, it's the luggage is heavy, and of course there is a small kid also. Then yes, he wants to help his wife. So because he wants to go up to the counter, and of course then luggage will go to the counter, and yeah, she can go. That is what his intention. His intention is perfect, but he knows security will guy check certificate ticket. So what he did, he is a frequent flyer. He just opened his old PDF ticket. He just changed the date. Name is same, timings is same, airline is same, airline number is same, everything is same except date. What he did, he just changed the date for his ticket. For other family ticket, no problem, because those are all genuine tickets. Now, of course, security, how they can notice, right? Because just he changed only the date. Date is actually numerals, right? Just something only digits, not really full name. Okay, name is same, everything is same except date. So of course, security, yeah, there will be a rush also, queue also. How security can and notice there is a change here? Yes, he went inside along with the family. He helped, and now he wants to come back, right? He doesn't know what will happen if he start when he start coming back. then of course immediately, yes, he cannot enter, he cannot come out, right? So because yes, they allow only people who have valid ticket. So once you enter inside, then you have to fly, you cannot come out. So this guy is coming out. Then he realized, oh, something is wrong. Then of course the police immediately caught him and inquired him. Then yes, he revealed everything what he did. That was exactly in the newspaper. Okay, yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, that is the story behind. That's what, in that way actually we have to define a problem. Simply we cannot take in some problem. You look at surroundings, look at your own surroundings, look at your own sources, your own way of defining the problem, not just defining a problem by reading something or by getting information from other sources. Okay, yeah, anyway, I will not take too much time. I already explained what I mean by copy paste operation. This is what IME number. This is actually original. This is actually copy paste operation. This is one sample. Look at this as information now. So when you compare these two, yeah, probably if we look at it closely, we can understand that something is happening to this one, something is not happening to this one. Similarly, this is insertion operation. Okay, so yeah, these are the samples, and this is air ticket also. Again, we have changed the named here. This again copy paste operation and insertion operation. Now, yes, again here something is a different approach now. DCT, yes, we wanted to use a phase information, phase angle, okay, phase information, but DCT does not give any phase information. Okay, but yes, we have studied in somewhere else. We can get or we can convert a DCT to get a phase information with the help of a Fourier transform. We have found this operations, even equations, everything in one book or probably in one paper. So now we started thinking, okay, so DCT does not give any phase information, but can we do something to DCT so that we get any phase information? Yes, for us phase, I'm focusing here, I'm targeting any phase information here. Why? Phase angle is very sensitive. Phase angle is sensitive to phase. It is something in orientation, right? It's an angle information. So phase angle is sensitive to pixels changes. So I knew that. So phase is good. Phase information is a good for detecting forgery information, even if it is a small. So I wanted to use that one. Okay. So look at this one. This is the phase values of an original. This is a forged now. So there is a difference now. This is a difference here also. Okay. It's a year ticket and this is actually IME number. There is a difference now. So this is very simple approach. Of course, phase is actually is an angle information. It is the orientation. It is not in normal pixel values. So there are some feature. There is a way of a feature extraction because there's an angle information. So circular mean, it's not an ordinary mean. So there is a equation for calculating a circular mean because you are taking the angle information as the input. So how we can calculate mean? It is not just taking an average. Okay. There is an equation for that one. Circular variance, there is the equations. So just we extracted statistical information using phase values. Okay, then it's a simple. Then we just fed all 4 or 5 features to SVM classifier. See, this is very simple method. But what is the contribution here? Contribution is converting DCT to phase, using DCT, how to extract phase information with the help of Fourier transform. So that means here also indirectly we are trying to combine DCT and FFT. See how we are maintaining the flow. In first chapter or first work also we explored something DCT and FFT. Again for second problem also we are trying to explore DCT and FFT. This is the flow we are going. Okay, though the problem is complex, but yes, we are trying to actually complexity is increasing. Okay, video and natural scene images, and now we are adding even not just natural scene images, we are adding even document also. This problem is a little bit complex compared to the video, because here image is there and document is there. So in the beginning itself, when I have explained, when it is a when it is a document, then what is the complexity? What is the difficulty in detecting forged information in the document, and what is the difficulty in detecting forged information in the natural scene images? I already explained. So now you are combining both. It is not so easy. Okay. Now this is just another example. Now this is another data set here and compared study. And yeah, this is actually standard data set, ICPR FDC data set. Of course, in your work, so although you created your data set for experimentation and validation, so if you don't show or run your method on standard data set, then people won't appreciate your work. Because when you show good result for your own data set, how people can believe that one. So people suspect, oh, it's your data set and it's your method. What is the big deal in getting a good result or something? So that is the way. So always, if you want paper to be accepted and published in any journal or conferences, whatever it may be, yes, you need to find standard data set. You have to run your method on standard data set. That means standard data set is a standard, it's a benchmark. When you get a good result for benchmark data set, then yes, people appreciate your work. Okay, that is the way you should carry your research work. Just I will show you. Yeah, this is C. I did not prepare many slides because it was just prepared by student only. But yes, we know the concept. Yeah, just this is a journal. See, every chapter we got one publication. That is the way thesis should be. Okay, this is actually master thesis. See, this is what the contribution here. Look at this one. Of course, there will be a ablation study and everything, compared study, everything should be there. And yeah, next work. This is one more approach. It is again similar to the previous approach only, but slightly different now. So here also we try to use DCT coefficients, but in different way. Okay, and we explored again color spaces here in different way. But fusion concept is same. We use the same fusion concept and fusion operation, variance and weight. Okay, maybe just straight away go to this one. Yeah, what we did here. See, this is interesting. Just I will try to explain the concept here. Okay, so we have a document now. This is actually original document or original line and forged line now, or maybe you can say altered. So we don't use for text lines or forged or something. Generally, we use an altered word. That is a suitable word for document. Okay, document. Okay. Now, so you just have one line. This is original line. This is a altered line. Altered line in the sense probably you change in one word. Okay. Maybe look at this one. This is actually completely changed, right? This is totally different. This is original lines, and these are all actually copy paste operations. We did copy paste operations to get this one. Okay, so this is actually altered. There are two lines now. Two lines are actually altered. That means you copied from different source. Now, yes, DCT. So what we did here, we are trying to divide. We are trying to classify positive coefficients and negative coefficients. You look at any transformation in frequency domain. There will be a positive coefficients and there will be a negative coefficients. Okay, so we classify positive coefficients and negative coefficients. See, as I explained earlier, positive coefficients represent edge information. Negative coefficients represent zero. That means a background information. That is our belief. Now, see what is happening now. See, if it is a genuine original image, there won't be any problem. Okay. But here, of course, here approach is something. Okay, you will first classify positive and negative coefficients, and finally we fuse it. Okay, you fuse both positive and negative coefficients. That is what approach. That means at the end we are getting one fused image. Okay, for each input image you are getting a fused image. How we are fusing? Yes, before fusing, it is something like a divide and conquer strategy. Divide and conquer means we are dividing positive and negative coefficients, and we get one image. We get a reconstructed image using positive coefficients. We get reconstructed image using negative coefficients. Okay, and finally we use both positive coefficients and negative coefficients to get the final fused image. Okay, this is the approach. Now, on what basis you are saying that this will work? This will work. What is the idea here? Idea is something like this. When you divide positive and negative coefficients, yes, as I mentioned, positive coefficients represent edge information. Okay, negative coefficients represent background or maybe dark color information. So if it is a genuine, nothing will happen. Whatever you give an input image, you are getting exactly same as input image, the fused image or output image, reconstructed image. Now coming back to the forged image now, or altered text here. Since you did some kind of distortions, since you did some operation here, it is not original. So now you divide positive and negative coefficients. Again, you are combining positive and negative coefficients. See what is happening now. We cannot expect the same reconstructed image as input image. Why? Because since you altered now, edges altered in the sense what? You are losing edge information now. So when you lose edge information, then there are chances of misclassifying positive coefficients as negative coefficients as positive coefficients. That means you are combining something different coefficients to get a final image. So definitely what happens? The fused image of a forgery should be different from fused image of an original image. That is the whole concept. Okay, that is the idea. Look at now, this is actually fused image now. This is actually caption, this is actually original text, and this is actually altered. See, look at altered text. So brightness, we lost in the brightness here, but the brightness still is, you can see brightness in the original text. Okay, that's the whole thing. And of course, we used even color information also. So RGB, we are trying to fuse again RGB. Yeah, this is final fused image of an RGB color. And finally, this is RGB fusion. This is a final fusion. That means RGB, yes, from the RGB we get one fused image, and the previous, this also one fused image. Again will combine. Okay, again will combine. So that is the final image. Look at now these two images now. These, look at the edges, especially edges. Here you can see a lot of distortions, right? Degraded or distorted edges here. But here it's better. You can read, but this you cannot read. That is the difference here. Okay. Now of course it's very simple now. So now how to extract any features here? Yeah, we did something like an histogram based. Histogram based means of course we have fixed in 35 bins, and we just plot histogram with the 35 bins. So every bin is nothing but a one feature vector, and histogram for input image also we have taken, and one fused image, RGB fused image, and final fused image, even residual also. Residual means fused minus input image. Okay. So anyway, it is just a different way of a feature extraction. What is very important in this work? This is very important. This is observation. So when reviewer see this observation, then yes, it will be fine for them. Then after that, it is up to you. You can, I extracted any features in this way, but you extract in different way. That doesn't matter. Now it is very clear. There is a difference. Easily we can notice now what is the difference in forged image, or what is the difference in an original image. There is a difference now. When you see there is a difference, then it is easy. Then you extract any feature, or maybe you can send this one to deep learning, no problem. Instead of extracting features like this, maybe you can send these to any deep learning, automatically they will classify, because there is a clearly, there is a clear difference in clearly. So that's all. It's very simple. Okay. Yeah, this is one simple work. Look at now this again. It is also proofreading. Yeah, just we received for proofreading. It's one journal. Actually, earlier we got a paper in conference, but that conference people found that it's a good work. Then they asked us to extend this work for journal. This is a final one. Okay, I'll just quickly finish this one. So maybe another maybe 5-10 minutes. Yeah, this is the interesting part. Unified method for forgery. Now see, first approach developed for video. Next approach developed for natural scene along with the air ticket. Next, document analysis. Okay, document. Actually, for me, document is a bit tough compared to natural scene and video images. But anyway, we have proposed individual method for addressing those challenges. Okay, now can we combine? So one algorithm. Again, we started thinking in FFT, how we can explore FFT information here. Okay, so that is what in the whole approach here. So see now, this is the interesting part now. What is observation here? Look at now, this is original image. Original images of a copy paste and insertion operation. These two are actually forged. Okay, this is a copy paste operation. This is a insertion operation. Okay, now these two are original. These two are forged. Just you think in this way. Okay, these two are original. These two are forged. Now look at the Fourier transform. Fourier transform, I think you know very well that it gives a spectrum. Okay, this is a binary spectrum. Look at for original images, the spectrum looks like this. See for this, and this is this one. Look at now forgery. It is totally different. Totally different, right? You compare to this and this and this. Okay, this is totally different. That is what an observation here. Now we can start thinking how we can analyze, how we can start developing algorithm, because this is observation now. Now we observed very clearly how we can differentiate forged and original images. Yes, Fourier spectrum clearly shows there is a difference in spectrum shape. Not only shape, look at now brightness also. Here brightness is more Brightness is scattered here, but brightness is actually centered at center. It is then focused at center here. But not, you lost brightness here. You lost brightness here, but see, brightness is more here. This is true in case of a Fourier transform, right? When images are good quality and good contrast, definitely we can get a brightness, high brightness here. When something is happening, see, you are doing forgery in the sense what? You are trying to alter edge information, right? You are trying to alter fine information in the image. That is what we call actually fine details or edge information. So that means it's something like you are blurring, right? Indirectly you are doing blurring, because when you are doing some manipulation in the sense what? It is a kind of blurring. So you are losing fine details or edge information. So you are losing information in case of forged here. So now I started thinking, yes, how we can extract these features. So there are two observations here. One observation, shape changes. Spectrum, shape changes. Another observation, brightness. Okay, so now I observed two properties now, two observations now. So how I can extract those features? It is up to you now. I started thinking like this. Okay, it is something like in spectrum. So we just drawn tracks and sectors. So track is nothing but a circle, rings. Sector, it's in cone shape, right? Cone shape. This is sector, and patches. So it is just an V, because we want to analyze the brightness, because as we see here, so brightness is scattered here, but in case of a forgery, brightness is focused at center now. So how to extract in this observation? So for that, yes, we have defined something here. Okay, so now patches. We'll try to see patches, whether this patch is bright, sharp patch or blurred patch. How we can say it's a blurred patch and sharp patch? Yeah, for that we define again one more. Okay, we'll start it. We count a number of positive coefficients, number of negative coefficients, and we calculate percentage of positive coefficients for every patch. Okay, then if percentage of positive coefficients is greater than percentage of negative coefficients for that patch, then we say it is a sharp patch and it is a blurred patch. Like this, we started calculating, counting. Okay, number of patches, number of sharp patches in first track, second track, third track, fourth track. I think we used 16 something. We fixed 16 tracks, and every track you are getting two kinds of information. One is how many sharp patches, how many blurred patches. So you are getting in two set. Every track you are getting number of sharp patches, number of blurred patches. Then we calculated mean, median, standard deviation, some statistical features. So for that one set contains sharp patches, number of sharp patches. Another set contains blurred patches. This is two sets now. So for these two sets, we just calculate some statistical features. Just you think that in that way. Okay. Now this is actually bar graph for SP, and SP means sharp patches and blurred patches. Here actually we are losing sharpness in case of forged information. Here sharpness is very high. What is the sharpness? Actually red color, right? Red indicates sharpness, bright. See, this is sharpness is very high in case of an original, but here see red color is actually we lose in red color here. So that means number of sharp patches are high in original images compared to blurred images. That is the whole concept. That is what brightness. That is the one observation. Another observation, shape is also changes. So for that, again, it is simple. So yeah, we know that shape changes, right, for forgery. So when there is a forgery, spectrum shape changes now. So for that, again, we did in a very simple operation. So PCA means is the principal axis. Okay, so you know the principal axis. First, you calculate a principal axis for the spectrum. That is a reference angle for that, reference angle for us. And then we take each sector in the sense what? Each sector is actually one cone, right, from beginning to end. Every sector we calculate again angle, and finally compared with a reference angle. What is the difference? Okay, it's something like a deviation. Okay, so that is what you are trying to collect. Okay, one sector with a reference angle of first sector with a reference, and again first sector, second sector you combine. That means angle of first sector and second sector, reference, and compared with the reference. Again 1, 2, 3 you combine, calculate an angle compared with the reference angle. Okay, like this we have calculated an cumulative angle information. That is actually one feature extraction. Okay, now similarly for track also, every track we are calculating an angle, second track, again third track, again compared with the reference angle. So we are trying to deviation. What is the deviation? Why? Because we know that this is the original, right? This is actually the forged. See, forged, this is what the principal axis, but in case of a forgery, yeah, principal axis is different now. That is what we wanted. Okay, yeah, this is just a representation. And finally, yes, we have whatever we extracted in features, statistical features of brightness and shape based features, and fed to then a classifier for classification. Yeah, that's I think so simple. Yeah, this is some results and compared study. And yeah, that's it. I think that should be the last. And look at this one. Probably you can see, you'll understand. Yeah, this is maybe just few seconds. I'll just take a, yeah, this is see histogram of an, what is this one? Histogram of an original copy paste operation. Okay, see original, right? See, look at these two histogram. Histogram is a simple histogram, intensity values. This histogram is different from this histogram, right? That is observation. This is actually forged. This is actually original now. Original, yes, this is histogram, but forged, these two are totally different. Look at now insertion operation. See, this is the original intensity, just intensity values. Okay, when you look at these two, we cannot notice, right? When you just look at from our naked eyes, we cannot notice the difference. Live, it's the same. But look at the values here, pixel values. Okay, so this is actually histogram of intensity values. Now here we lost the brightness here, but here brightness is high, but here we lose some values here. See, that means this indicates there is some change, there is something different, there are some changes in the pixel values. Okay, yeah, this is the same I have taken. Okay, this is a Fourier spectrum. And yeah, this is a patch. I was saying that this is a track, this is a patch, and this is a sector. This is the one sector. Okay, one sector. So we just this is actually cumulative. So we take in first sector, yes, we calculate an angle for that, and reference angle, the deviation, the difference. First and second sector combined, calculate an angle, compare with the reference angle. That's one more deviation, D1, D2, D3, like this. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think this is the shape analysis. And finally, yes, we have to represent how feature works. And yeah, that's it. That's all I think. Yeah, fine now. Yeah, so I think significance. As I mentioned, yes, we can use this one for many applications because we are focusing video, natural scene images, and even document also. Payment received and banking, and even your real estate fraud documents, even answer script fraud document certificates can use. I think yes. Yeah. Anyway, no need to read this one. So conclusion. But future work, now you start thinking. Okay, here we did not use in multiple operations for forgery. That means single image will have only one forgery operation. So now you start thinking, no, single image can be affected by multiple forgery operations. Not only that, even you can expect some noise effect, blurry effect. So how you can detect forged information in a noise and blurred environment, and when image is attacked by multiple operations, then how? Because our basis is when you do some forgery operation, it creates some distortions, right? It distortions. But now there are many distortions now in the in a single image. Okay, in a single image, distortions created by forgery, distortions created by noise, distortions created by blur, distortions created by multiple operations. And not only that, document can be degraded means aging document. Okay, degradation. Now you just imagine how you can differentiate distortions created by forgery, distortions created by other operations. It is something like, you make it simple. Don't consider too many things here. You focus on only distortions created by forgery, distortions created by other operations. It includes degradation, noise, blur, everything. How you can differentiate? Just start thinking, then you will get idea. Okay, So distortions created by forgery operation, distortions created by noise, blur, and degradation like this. What do you think? Yes. What is the idea I tell you? When distortions created by, when you see distortions created by forgery operation, you cannot expect any consistency. No consistency at all. Inconsistent pattern or data. But when you see noise effect, blurry effect, and degradation, yes, there are some distortions, but those distortions satisfy or exhibit some kind of pattern, some regular pattern. Just I'm giving any hints you to think. Of course, we have already developed a method, and yes, we have submitted one IEEE transactions journal. Yeah, that's the reason I'm telling you. Idea. This is the idea. This is what an idea to detect forged text in noise and blurry environment. See, distortions created by forgery. Yes, we cannot predict what kind of a pattern, what kind of a changes in the image, but noise and blur, yes, because in noise, you're using Gaussian noise, maybe you're using some other noise. Gaussian, the name itself tells you there is a pattern. You're following some pattern. Gaussian blur, yes, you are following some pattern to make blur. So that means noise, blur, effect follow some pattern, regular pattern, but distortions created by forgery, no. That is the idea. Okay, I think that's all. So yeah, thank you. Maybe I don't know the questions. Probably any questions? Maybe I can.
Thank you very much for your elaborative presentation.
Timing's okay, right? Okay, 6:30. Fine, fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
generally I don't see the time.
it's
Yeah.
exactly 4 o'clock almost.
Yeah, here 6:30. Good. Okay. So maybe yes, maybe if you have a time and any questions from the audience, probably you can.
Yeah, any interactions? Actually, yes,
No,
sir.
no chat box here.
Yeah, it's there.
Anybody raise the questions?
No.
Yeah, there is something. When we can use the DCT coefficients and the AFFT coefficients? I think I have explained. Huh?
Yes, sir, I got your.
Oh, okay. Maybe you questioned before I explain. Huh? You are very smart, huh? Oh, probably. Okay. I think there are no more questions. Anyway, it is up to you. If you have a questions, yeah. If you have your own questions, yeah, you can ask me.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah.
I think no questions. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And for your patience and for giving you are sharing your expertise and knowledge. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. It is
Okay.
actually one master thesis. You see, that is
Okay.
the quality. Every chapter will have one journal or one conference. So I
Okay.
think he has published almost 3 to 4 journals. It's a one piece of a master degree.
Okay.
You just imagine what will be the quality of a PhD. Okay, just I'm giving a message to audience because and just getting degree is not so easy. Master degree is just this is what the quality of a master degree. Okay, I think thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Even of course, being a teacher, if you get any platform like this, and of course our own Mysore people and Mysore reason, definitely yes, I never say no. And of course, I always happy to present something and share something with my own people and my own candidates. So yeah, in that way, it's fine. Yes, yes, as I mentioned, being a teacher, if you share something with other people, then you will be happy. That is the way we can contribute. Otherwise, what is the use of keeping everything in your mind? So yeah, saying I am great, I am great, I am great without sharing with any other people, then then in what way you are great? When you are not sharing with any person, you are not in guiding, you are not sharing, then what is the use of having knowledge? No
Yes.
use. So in that way, actually, always I get satisfaction if someone give an opportunity like this. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
sir.